defenders have been given. Like,
people deluded. People deluded. I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. Apologies for the short technical difficulties there, but as usual, people deluded. I'm back again. You know the name, you know the face. Appreciative to all my regular viewers. One love to everybody tuned in. I appreciate the support, especially as we have now approached the last month of the year or the last couple of weeks. It's a very reflective time. And as usual, people, I'm very grateful for the platform that we've amassed here and on Twitch. Make sure you're following on Twitch, hitting the like button, subscribing, checking out the description for all the other social media handles and things, people. Without you lot, this thing is pointless. So I'll never ever not say thank you to you lot. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. Appreciative of you lot tuned in. If you're in for the first time, hit the like button. And of course, as well, people, for everyone who doesn't skip the ads, because we need them, you know, we need you to watch the ads on this platform. One love for everyone who hasn't done that. Now, it feels weird, actually, hearing Mikel Arteta's having a press conference in relation to an Arsenal match. Obviously, the last month, we haven't seen any football, people. So, yeah, we're back with reviewing, specifically what the gaffer has had to say, and especially in line to, you know, us playing West Ham on Monday. It's a tough game of fixtures that we've got now. You know, it's a tough run of fixtures. I think we're going to be playing off, you know, when we get back, it's going to be almost a game every 3 or so days, really. So, yeah, we've got some tough games in the Prem. We don't know what the Europa League is going to have to say because there's an extra round, but we know it's going to get on top. So let's see what the gaffer has had to say about the immediate threat of West Ham in the short, medium, and long term, in simply put. So, yeah, let me share my screen with you guys, people. And also, there's been some Rabiot business here, but let's start with one thing at a time. Every word from Mikel's pre-West Ham presser. On returning to action, it's been an unusual period, obviously with the World Cup, but a period as well that we have used well to train on certain things that we needed to train and to spend some time on certain players that haven't been with their national teams. Now, everybody is back, apart from Saliba, who's going to be back tomorrow, hopefully. That would be Friday at the time of making this video, Thursday evening. So let's crack on to the second part of the season, which is going to be really interesting and intense, and we're looking forward to it, and we should be looking forward to it. Bring it on. You know, it's uncertain. We don't know if our form's going to maintain, if it's going to get better. There's going to be many twists and turns, bumps and bruises, but in life you have to suffer for a goal worth wanting. And specifically for us, I don't know where Arsenal are in the league table, but allegedly we're top, so hopefully that means a league title, minimum top 4. Where the FA Cup and the Europa League's concerned, we're Arsenal Football Club. We should be getting to finals and winning trophies. In my 27 years, Arsenal haven't had, you know, that good of a record with European trophies. You know, again, I say we won the Champions League in 2006 because we away for Lona were cheating and that. Got our asses handed to us when we played Chelsea in the Europa League, but it is what it is. So yeah, man, you've got to relish it. And at the end of the day, it's a privilege to be a footballer. Of course, it's a job. There's intensity, there's pressure, there's all these things, but it's a luxury. At the end of the day, if you lose it, as much as it's the end of the world to me and a lot of you, if you're a doctor and you make a mistake, someone might be dead. If you lose a football match, so what? If you don't get your goal, so what? So you should relish it, especially when you've been doing what you did in the first half of the season, you know, and it's got to be a love since Mikel's come in, definitely the last 18 months, specifically this season. It's got to be a lovely place to work, you know, in a normal working place, you know. If you love your job and you love the people and you love the environment, it's not essentially work. You can't wait to get back on it. And I'm sure a lot of these players are ready to get back on it. And also those players who were second fiddle and bit part pieces for last season. So it makes sense. And I'm happy to hear we've got everybody back. On recreating momentum, which we start again from zero because momentum's a strong thing. And that's why I kind of liked this season with the World Cup because we was able to just keep playing games. And I'm a bit peed off that, you know, we had to skip out a month because who knows where we'd be and whatnot. We need to do that on the pitch. We talked a lot about it and we know the importance of starting strong. Again, we're playing at home. It's a very special day in the Premier League historically, a very special family day to play football. It's an incredible atmosphere on Boxing Day. We want to make the most out of it. On integrating players back into the squad, they are in a really good place. Obviously, a huge blow with Gabriel Jesus and what happened in the World Cup with his injury, and we're going to miss him for a period of time. but the season has challenges. That's a challenge that we have to overcome as well. But if you want to be at the top, you know you're going to have to face those sorts of challenges. On other World Cup players, they're all fine. They came back in good spirits. Some of them came earlier than expected, but they were bursting to be back and be part of it. Lovely. You know, when people say footballers don't care, another example as to why they do. I feel really good energy around the place, and they've got straight into rhythm of what we want. We have a few days until Monday, but we are good. And he's further confirmed that everyone apart from Saliba, who should be back tomorrow, Friday, are all back. On injury news with Gabriel Jesus, it's difficult to put a time frame on his recovery. I'm sure if you look at his Instagram, he's shown that he's at London Coley walking on crutches, so he's nowhere near playing football, but it's nice to see that he's on the mend. And hopefully we can get some diagnosis if we accept what Arteta has said at face value, in that we don't kind of know. It's difficult to put a time on it, or if that's the case, hopefully we see how he reacts, and the quicker we know, the quicker we can do things in the market. Or if the manager's playing a bit of devil's advocateness and he knows it in private, but he's not saying things publicly, we don't know, people. It was a significant injury, and knowing him, I prefer not to give any dates away. Apparently 25th of February. With Reece, unfortunately, picked up an injury in the game against Juventus, which is upsetting because he had a great pre-season break sort of thing until we get back to football. And again, if Jesus is injured, Smith Rowe isn't exactly fit. Martinelli could play up front, but if Eddie's going to be slotted in, Martinelli's going to be off the left, you could be the next in command, really and truly. So it was a chance for Reece Nelson to lay down a marker, potentially get a new role in the team and all these things. And he's going to be out for a while, I think. So the gaffer has said probably what we know, hamstring injury. He's out for maybe even a month. Hopefully, that's not the case. With Emil, he said Emil is close. He's starting to train again. He had a little setback, but he's in a good place. Once again, going back in on Reece Nelson. I'm talking about weeks, not a matter of days, but he'll be out for a few weeks. Let's see how he reacts in the next few days. But he felt something straight away. And with sprinters, that's not a good sign. Amen. On suggestions, Jesus could be out until February. No, I never gave a date. That's not the words that I used. I haven't used any words right now. I said that we don't know. It will take some time for sure. Obviously, he's going through surgery, so that's the extent of the injury. We'll be in the market, always active. That's what I said, and we'll assess the biggest opportunities that we have. Big up the gaffer. That makes me happy. On Jesus' injury and more transfer activity, we are going to be active, and active means always looking to strengthen the team, which every club is doing at every minute. This squad still doesn't have the luxury of not maximizing every single window, and we have to do that because it's really important. But then we want to get the right profile, the right player, and a player that is really going to impact the team and take us to the next level. On a contract news for Martinelli, where there's rumors he's committed to such, he said no news. We're extremely happy with him. He had a great experience with Brazilian national team. You can keep asking him in the next few weeks. Big up David Moyes. He was filled of nothing but praise for David Moyes. Obviously, that's someone that, he was close with and was a manager as well as was a player under him as well as now facing off as managers. On West Ham, very dangerous. I know for sure Moyes has been working the team really hard since he took over. He's absolutely maximized the potential of that team and took them to a different level. Fair play, I think he has. And I'm sure they've been working really hard like we all have been in this period. It will be a very difficult contest. On what has impressed him the most about our season so far, probably the level and the consistency that we've shown within that level. Amen, Gaffer, I agree. Which with the group and the age we have is not easy. We showed real maturity in certain moments, especially against big opponents, and the focus is to play better every single day, to keep growing individually and collectively, and keep deserving to win matches. That's all we can hope for. Football is a very tricky game. Amen, Gaffer. On adapting his coaching and management with the World Cup break, we've done a lot of work on that, but I think the second part of the season is going to have very different periods you have to train, and other periods that matches are going to come very fast. We're going to have big congested periods, and it is going to be very important how healthy the team is, how fit it is, and how much rotation can help you sustain the levels that we want. On whether the January transfer window is the biggest challenge after the World Cup, probably, but we don't know exactly. There are a lot of teams with new coaches, new owners that are probably going to go into this window in a position that's never been or experienced before, but we know that we have to be active on it. Smith Rowe, he's offered his more extended opinions. He said, we've done a lot of things with Emil. Sometimes he's been very close. Sometimes he's been in different places to see different environments. But his attitude has been great. This is part of any career. Any development to have periods when you're out, when you have long-term injuries, and he needs to react to that. He's got all our support. He's a huge talent that we need for the second part of the season at his best, because his contribution is going to be key to the team. on what different environments basically mean, different kind of environments, different sports and to places, to people that he could inspire and give him certain perspectives as well about his situation. I think he has taken a lot from it. On his trip to America, Arteta said, we are always connected, and I think the relationship is getting stronger and stronger. They've been over many times, and we've been there a few times too. And it is a special relationship right now as we understand the way they think about sport and hear what they've done in other sports and franchises. The ambition is there and the alignment's certainly there as well. So it's very positive to spend time together. On whether it was important to have that meeting ahead of the transfer window, it was a time that we had as it was spare time. So it's very useful for everyone to do that in that period. On Cedric, he, it's always what the manager has said, but what he hasn't said, Cedric is reported to be going to Fulham. He's also drawn interest from Bayern Leverkusen and Villarreal. Smash the like button, people. Big up to everyone watching the ads as well. Subscribe and turn on notifications if you haven't. Pardon me. We know where we are in terms of the squad and the numbers that we have, so we're going to be extremely cautious in what we do in this window. On if Saliba will be involved against West Ham, I think he's got to be itching to come back. All you can do, get into the final of a World Cup at 21 years of age is great, but he barely played, so I'm sure that he's ready to get back on it and show the world why you got called up to the French team and why you're earning a lot of plaudits. Let's see. That depends on how he comes back as well. We have the data of what he's done in training, and in terms of actual minutes, he didn't participate much, but it was a huge experience for him as well. Let's see when he gets back. We'll make the decision. On the contact he's had with William Saliba, we have a lot of contact, but of course it's different when he's on the phone and when he's present. Then we can talk to him directly and see how he is in training, see how he's feeling and get into rhythm. On the proposed changes to the Club World Cup, at the moment, I have no opinion. I think it is very raw and we are focusing on what we have to do today. I don't think our opinion is going to help much anyways, and it's true. We don't work for FIFA. Club World Cup is irrelevant if we're not in it, and the way to get in these things is by doing stuff. Behind the numbers of our superb start to 2023, let's see what's been said here. Our tally of 37 points from an opening 14 games is the most we've ever amassed at this stage of the season. Indeed, only 2 clubs have ever made a better start to the campaign, City and Liverpool. I think I've seen this before, people, if I'm completely honest with you. Martin Odegaard has been one of 23 players Arteta has called upon so far. 8 of them have played every game. That is Ramsdale, Gabriel, Odegaard, Saka as well, off the top of my head, or maybe even not Saka. We've had 10 different goal scorers, and Odegaard's got six goals. Saka has 6 assists. We have also fielded the youngest team on average so far this season. Southampton, Leeds, and Brentford, as well as Wolves, follow us behind. Only 3 of our players so far are 30 or older. You've got Xhaka, El Nene, Cedric, and Partey is 29. We've also fielded our youngest ever player, people, in Premier League history, and actually in Premier League history, full stop, with Ethan obviously playing against Brentford. Saliba's had the most touches and completed the most passes this season. Saka has created the most chances. Gabriel Jesus has had the most shots on target and won the most duels, so that we're going to fill that absence. Martinelli leads the way for penalty box entries as well. We've had a great form at home and away. 1 loss, really. We've won all 6 of our home games. We're the only team with an 100% record and one of only 2 teams to remain unbeaten at home during the first part of the campaign, which is Newcastle, who we've got coming up soon. 2 losses between them heading into January. If somebody told you that in August, you'd say, have you had your head checked out? Away from home, we've scored the second most and conceded the fewest, and away form was something. And, beating Leeds away is just as important as, what we've done at home, because that we had to suffer. Unfortunately, we still haven't had successful trips to St. Mary's or Old Trafford, but you can't have it all, people. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Arsenal are pushing to sign France's World Cup star Rabiot from Juventus in January. Apparently, Arteta is keen to snap him up. Allegedly, people. We're closing in on a January signing. I don't know if this is true, but apparently these reports are saying the Gunners are now pushing to sign Rabiot in the January transfer window to strengthen their midfield. Apparently, his proposed move to Manchester United in the summer fell due to personal terms, and he could join another Premier League team. And he's actually talked up the chances of one day wanting to join the Premier League. Been at Juventus, been at PSG, been at big clubs, 27 years of age, featured for his country. There's a lot of experience. I would want to stay away from it, but if Mikel Arteta does want this to happen, then that's enough for me to get behind. Dele Alli is booed off by his own fans. Bloody hell, mate. Next out, better than Mesut Ozil, my ass. Anyways, Juventus might also be willing to sell him for a cut price fee next month to avoid losing him for nothing in summer 2023. And Arsenal could sense an opportunity, people. As I always say, we're Locatelli, we're Zanolio, we're Tammy Abraham, we're Vlahovic, we're Xhaka to Roma, Torreira to several Italian clubs. I always look at Italian reports with a pinch of salt, and I implore you and encourage you lot to do the same too. But I always say, I don't tell you what to think, just think, people. So in relation to Mikel Arteta's press conference, that's all I've got to say, people. So as I said, thank you to anyone who's watched all the ads. Appreciative to you lot here at the end of the video. Appreciative to the regular viewers of the content. If you haven't liked, comment, and subscribed, make sure you do that. Most importantly, stay blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you lot soon.
There's always that active defenders.
I've been given like